And we welcome you back to the 50th Annual Girls Volleyball Championships here on Mission TV. As we head into the Class 5 matchups, two teams trying to finish their season on a high note as the Liberty Blue Jays take on the Francis Howell Vikings. And with that, we welcome you back to the broadcast booth, along with the former Three Rivers superstar and today the hardest working analyst into the game, Gentry Vansel, Joe Northern on hand. Let's be honest, it's obvious that you're playing in the early game on day two is not the most ideal situation. But neither is getting on the stage and feeling like you've got nothing to prove. But from what we've seen yesterday, these two teams still have something to prove and a little bit left in the tank.
You didn't come here to lose another game. You came here to at least pull that third place out. These kids, they are the top 4 teams in the state, and they will still show it. Their character, they've been looking forward to this all season long. When we started on August the 8th as season, both of these teams are ready to go.
Absolutely, and taking a look at the two teams' tail of the tape, Francis Howell, they had their work cut out against them against a very good Ozark team, losing at 3 straight to the Tigers, but they've got a great attacker in number 10, Danielle Moore, that's continued to control the tempo.
Yeah. So actually Liberty will have to really have their work cut out to actually affect her.
That they will. And speaking of Liberty, of course, you know, they went to the brink with Lafayette, up 2-1 at one point in the match last night, but they could not starve off the defending champions, going down 3-2. And you really talk about just trying to come back with everything that you've got, and a lot of collegiate players for the Blue Jays. This is not how they want to go out tonight. They want to go away with a W.
They sure do. And after that loss, let's see how they come out tonight. That was an emotional loss as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you take a look at kind of the scoring last night between those two teams, and again, really, Liberty, again, going the distance, some extra points on the attackers, too. Abigail Mullen, the Southern Cal commit, 26 kills. Caitlin Spengler with 10. Megan Bishton, kind of the secret weapon, though, really attacking up front. Despite only 10 kills on the evening, she was kind of a spark plug when you least expected.
And she was set 27 times. So she got 27 swings, had 10 kills, only 5 errors. She is somebody that Francis Howell will have to make their adjustments for.
Absolutely. Again, with Liberty having 3 primary attackers, Francis Howell only with 1, they're really going to have to try to dig in a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper as we go on. I can guarantee one thing will happen tonight. A team that is wearing blue is going to win.
Somebody wearing blue. I'm wearing blue.
I am not. I tried to stay neutral this evening. So, but great to have you with us, though. Already 4 games in the books. St. Pius getting the redemption title over Jefferson City in the game you just watched with Gentry and Jim. And then the Class 3 semifinals happening in our first doubleheader today with Greg Allen having the helm on that. And that's going to be a fun matchup coming up tomorrow. But really with these two teams, they've got a lot of senior leadership, a lot of great things to look forward to. And really, if you have some multiple keys to the games for these two teams, what are you looking at?
Multiple keys is who is going to come up and who's going to be able to close the block, who's going to be able to really focus and not miss serves. Miss serves is going to kill some people here. It will affect the game. Also, service receive is going to be a big killer, and not giving anyone any free balls. At this level, no free balls. Now we have the starting lineups.
As we take a look at that right now with the libero coming out for Liberty at number 4, Ella Anderson. And again, Liberty going to be in blue, or dark blue, we should say. Libero in white. Addie Baker, we mentioned, wearing number 26. Caitlin Spengler had the great evening last night with 24 attacks. Gigi McClintock, also kind of the secret weapon with a middle hitter's position, wearing number 24. Of course, we talk about Abigail Mullen wearing number 27. Riley Hauser wearing number 25, and Megan Bishton wearing number 11. So a lot of key attackers for the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, for the Vikings of Francis Howell, we take a look again with the receiver, libero coming on, in number 4, Avery Helms. Their starting rotation looks like this. Ellie Pfeiffer wearing number 3, Hadley Martin wearing number 7. Of course, we mentioned Danielle Moore wearing number 10, the outside hitter. Josie Naputi wearing number 11, the junior. Morgan Dumm, the senior setter. And then rounding out the lineup, number 14, Emma Parrington. So again, Francis Howell coming into this game. Second year in a row they've been to the Final Four. They did lose to Lafayette in the final last season, as they are getting ready for starting lineups officially announced. And, of course, our officiating crew tonight, hand-selected, of course, and really, you talk about players trying to make an impact too. Being on here as someone who is calling the law and order, it's a big honor.
Yes. And Jim and I spoke about this. Just not the up officials, but the down officials make it so much easier for these up officials. Right now we have
tail of the tape between these two coaches, two veteran coaches for their respective squads, starting again with Liberty, spending all 19 years at Liberty, we should say. April Fleming coming in to postseason play, 433, 116, and 19. Wanting to say for her team that she wants nothing but resolve and to give everything she's got for really the last seniors on this squad before they head off collegiately. And boy, she's got a lot of players headed up to the next stage. We'll talk about that in just a second. Meanwhile, for Francis Howell, another veteran leader, we should say, in Keith Price. Career overall, 254, 90 and 7. School record overall, 57, 15 and 1. And the one thing that he mentioned to me talking with him earlier is that for, again, seniors, this is it. You got to leave everything you've got. Treat this like this is a title game, because you never know when a chance like this is ever going to come again. And that's for even if you're not going to be going on to the postseason or even playing after high school, I should say.
Absolutely. These kids, and you know, they have trained their whole life. So most of these girls that are here, this is their sport. This is what they've been doing since they've been about 7 or 8 years old. And most of them are specifically trained to do one spot. And like I'm watching the libero from Liberty come in, number 4. To me, she was the game changer last night. She was amazing in that back row.
Absolutely.
Fearless.
Absolutely. Anderson just absolutely diving everywhere last night. We'll see how she can rebound, and if Liberty can rebound again, losing 3-2 against Lafayette. Howell getting swept 3-0 against Ozark. Doesn't matter right now. One game, one more time. Here's Morgan Dumb to serve. Right to left on your screen. Scooped up again once more by Baker. Brought down and back away from Spengler. Liberty North again, or Liberty with another chance just on the outside. And that's something that I noticed with Spengler yesterday. She gets some really good opportunities on the attack, but doesn't really get well on the precision.
This is something that maybe the block, and she's having to go around the block, just different things like that going through their head, probably a little nerves right now as well.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to have the nerves one way or another. Here's Anderson again, up to Spengler, goes for the tip, and the tip works just fine, even at 1. So we take a look at it again once more. You see Anderson just setting it up for her and going with the light palm to get it on the board. And Liberty getting back in track. As we say hello to number 14, Bryn Wright, the 5'9" senior setter. Gets it now across again to Dunn. Up top. And that is a name we're going to be calling a lot tonight in Danielle Moore. Coming into the postseason, 627 kills and put up, let's just say 22 kills last night on 60 attacks against Ozark. You have to think really everybody's going to swarm around her and try to make her kind of get out of sorts all night tonight. Same case for number 27 and Abigail Mullen as well.
And they just answer right back to it. Number 27 for Liberty, Abigail Mullen. She had 79 attempts last night. And then to come in here and have to play again, arm has to be sore, just a little bit.
I think everybody's got a little sore arm one way or another, but it's all about how things can continue. Spengler going across. Now back to Howell. Helms on the tip. Picked up the other way to Lee. Brought down again from Spengler. She's going back to back. And really utilizing kind of the lower corner, more so lower corners, we should say. Really not trying to push the front row too much against Frances Howell. And coming in now, it is Spengler again. Going to go back to back. They lead 3-2. Just underway. Set number 1, third place game. A great attack again from Moore.
That left hand is vicious.
She has been known to provide some vicious attacks. Taking a look again once more. And it's just textbook opportunity to try to get in front of Anderson in the meantime. 3-3.
First misserve of the night.
And we talk about that's really just kind of the gut punch and really the knee killer at the end of the day is getting those missed serves and really getting those early because that could set you back 3-4 points you don't need at the end of the day.
That's right.
Anderson again. Back down to Moore. And right into the face of Spengler, which last night she was diving to try to get some kills on some kills against Lafayette. This time just goes right into the noggin.
To me right now, Liberty has outsized Frances Howell right now. And let's see if it will be used to her advantage.
Again, the height advantage has been a big factor really for Liberty North all season long. One of the more successful teams over the past couple of years, but this is only their third trip to the Final Four. Brought up the other way now for Anderson. Mullen. Dug again once more from Parrington. Opportunity on the attack and over the head. And a great movement again from Cameron Lee. Not a name that we called a lot last night, but had a great opportunity and just kind of like that sneaky spark plug for Liberty and kind of really getting you up on those kills when you least expect it.
And that was a long rally. Things that we didn't see between Liberty and Lafayette last night. Nice ace.
And you're going to see a lot of that coming in from Mullen as well. Had 70 aces coming into postseason play. Last night, only picked up 2.
She makes this look so simple and easy, and it is not.
Simple and easy, if you say that again. Only 2 last night in the loss to the Lancers. 2 in the first 11 points here in set number 1. Already a 3-0 run. Of course, announcers jinx.
Right.
But a 3-0 run for Liberty to start this. And again, not exactly how you're drawing it up, but you have to feel good about how your team is competing.
Yes.
Here's Naputi now. Launches this high. Gets back again to Mullen. Sets up for Lee. Lee with kind of a wacky attack. Still got it in play. Moore. And off the net. Not typical of what we've seen from Moore is that she kind of gets a little bit more of an arch on top of that, but just couldn't get the angle.
I think it was coming in at a wrong angle. I think there was a little bit of factor. I think she slowed down on her swing. Something just a little bit off of it. Could have been anything.
Nonetheless, you have to sit down, rally, and move on. Well, stand up, rally, and move on. Here's Heiser now. 5'9" defensive specialist. Barely grazing it over the net. And that is the third ace tonight for Liberty. They're doing a great job of at least keeping things going for them this evening.
Hey, we talked about serve receive at the beginning of the game, and this is one of the hardest things to get, the first kill off this serve. There it is.
Yeah, again, back-to-back aces. And the second time that we've seen back-to-back aces. Already 4 on the board for Liberty. And 4 served aces on the board. That's out of 10. They lead by 5. Back in a moment on Mission.tv.
You kidding me? And the Norwood Pirates have their first ever state title.
Jackson, oh, it goes! For the first time in 9 years, the trophy goes back to Chesterfield.
One in this one, make it to Annika Holtorf.
It's been 4 aces on the board already for Liberty. Last night, they had 4 in the match as a whole. So you have to think they're really feeling a lot of momentum, feeling really good, and just trying to make some easy work against Francis Howell.
Yes, so when you have a 5-point lead right now, you feel just a little bit relaxed, and maybe I can swing a little harder, maybe I can serve this ball just a little bit harder, unless when the score is just a little bit closer and tighter, we need to do something different.
Here again is Heiser. No ace this time. Now brought back up to Wilson. Blocked again. Still in play for Francis Howell. They're going to have to go to Moore, and they do. Here's the hit and the attack. Saved again once more. This one's going to have to go over. Great push from Neiman. Opportunity, and the tip. Got it. Caitlin Spengler, we've kind of figured out that for her, it's not necessarily how hard you attack, but really just trying to get that edge, especially riding that sideline.
Yes, just super smart right now from her. She saw the block, and then she just went right up and over it.
Heiser again, just grazing the top of the net. Back again, scooped up by Anderson. And picked up once more from Howe. Here's Wilson. Back to Moore, blocked again. Trying to set this for a long rally right now. And of course, that's who you call to finish it in Mullen.
That is why they have her in the back row. She's just a good all-around player. And for someone her height and size, she plays the back row very well.
That she does. Again, the USC commit continuing to make noise in her final game in a Liberty uniform. Crossing over now from Heiser. Picked up again by Parrington. But just inside, and it is.
And they have a touch.
Yep, they had the touch on top of it too, so Spengler already at least 3, if not 4 total attacks, or 4 total kills on the evening. And that one may be the hardest.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know where me and Joe are sitting, we are sitting right behind the up official, and we're down on the ground. So we have a little bit of a disadvantage of seeing the court at times. So bear with us.
But you know what we do have, though? We have the best camera crew in the business.
Yes.
Adam Baker leading it up top.
Yes.
And, of course, one of the original producers for another network, but still with us now at Mission TV, James O'Sullivan, making it all happen. And, of course, everybody helping out here over the next couple of days. Service error into the net this time for Hadley Martin. And now Liberty is really riding some advantage here in this third-place match, up by 8. And a lot of it just coming from single strikes. A lot of it picking up from the mistakes you're seeing from Howell.
And a lot of it aces.
4 on the make that 5 aces. So when a third of your points are already coming off the aces, you have to think it's about not necessarily the strength of the ace, but the precision that we've seen.
Yes. And they are picking on a few.
It looks, well, that one not going to count, obviously, but it looks like we're seeing that Helms, Wilson, and Neiman have been kind of getting the brunt of it more so with kind of the back row, and you mentioned the height advantage.
Yes.
Exactly what Liberty's trying to pick on a little bit.
So 2 missed serves for Liberty right now and 2 missed serves for Howell.
Here's Dum now to bring it over. Brings up to Spengler and gets it right over the head of Moore. She tried to defend it off the tip, but wasn't able to go. And now 16-7. as we take a look at it again once more.
One more thing on that she ended up only having a single block over there. And that's tough when you're going up a hitter of that size and you're only hit a single block from Frances Howell.
Right, grazing it over again once more. Moore looking for trouble, and she got it. Again, Neiman was trying to get up, or Mullen, was trying to get up there to fend it off, but again, couldn't get the touch. And again, great precision from Moore. That's what she does best, getting on that lower sideline. So Liberty doubling up now on Howell. 16-8. Mullen. No. Scooped up by Helms. Brought down from Moore. Back to Anderson. Still in play. Mullen again. And the spark plug you mentioned, Ella Anderson, coming into postseason play. 408 digs. Last night picking up 34 for the Blue Jays.
Last night, they just kept hammering. We all know Lafayette has power hitters, and she just didn't back down. It was just impressive to me.
Spengler again to cross it over. Back down to Moore. And a point on the board for the Vikings.
That is so hard to defend. She's left-handed. That is her strong side. So she loves that side, and she feels so much more freedom there.
We also had a little bit of a look coming in from Bren Wright, thinking, like, that's not going to work.
Maybe, maybe not. Don't know.
Now going right to left. Helms bringing it over. Mullen. Dug again by Helms. Opportunity to brunt down, and there's the attack from Martin.
So Frances Howell is not dying. They're not going to lay down here and just let this game go by. They are giving Liberty every fighting thing they have.
And again, this is what we've kind of seen Howell do probably more than any other team in the Final Four of Class 4. They've had more games go the distance in 3-2. Another one from Mullen in the meantime.
So if you hear me say wow, it's so impressive sitting here right on the court. I mean, we are just right beside it. You can hear the hits hitting off their hands. See how high they jump. It's just so impressive.
Anderson bringing it over again. Here's Moore down in the back. And you're going to see a lot of that continuing from Moore as she's just continuing to bring it up. 7 kills on the night so far for the Vikings. A good majority of those coming from number 10 herself. She hits back to serve. Dug by Anderson. A light attack, but still works.
Yes.
For number 27 in Mullen.
Everyone in Frances Howell is expecting I got my Mullen, I'm sorry, to hit that ball, and then she goes off and she just gets a roll shot on it, and it's just like, man, I'm stuck. So it's awesome that she's able to do that.
No question. Martin trying to give them a taste of their own medicine. This one's got to go up if it goes. Back to Lee. Here's Moore again. Dug up once more from Spengler. The double-hander from Lee. Opportunity up front again for Lee. That one's good if it goes. It takes a few attempts, but then Lee finds a way to slow him down up front.
Right. And yesterday she had 21 attempts and 6 kills. So to me tonight, she is really getting a lot more swings possibly and a lot more kills. Absolutely.
Mullen again bringing it back over. Don't expect her to go for this one, but continue to give it to Lee. Back-to-back kills on the board. And the Blue Jays up by 10. And I feel like you're going to start to see a little bit, if Liberty can continue the control, you may not see Mullen really be the one that they're going to go to too much tonight.
They're going to spread it out.
Here's Mullen, but that one hitting right on the net. But I do agree, though. It's just once you have a little bit of advantage, you can at least kind of give your star players a little bit of rest and also to give them a little bit more time to see some of the other skills develop. Of course, we say that Lee also being a senior, mind you. But, again, a bunch of this Blue Jay team is going to be playing next year, I believe, all in different uniforms, mind you. So that's brought over again from Deputy. Lee again, just on the outside.
No tip. No touch.
No tip, no touch, and that's no problem for the Vikings. Naputi again going back to back. Try to trim this down to 7. Lee up front. Brought back and out of play. My goodness. Naputi doing a great job coming up all the way from the back row. And just like that, the Vikings are on a 3-0 run here in the first. They're trying to keep this rally going. Naputi grazing it over now to Anderson. Sets up for Lee. Brought down in front of Moore. So that stops at least a little bit of the run from the Vikings. And again, the Blue Jays just only need 3 to get win number 1 here in the match. Riley Heiser now coming up. Heiser going to go with the one hand. Gets it up. Dug again once more. They set it up to Mullen. Picked up by Moore. Now the chance for Parrington. Still in play for the Vikings after the block. The tip from Parrington. Setting up again, this time finding Spengler. Double block. Opportunity again for number 24 in McClintock. That won't go. Parrington blocked at the net. A long rally coming on right now. Moore thought she had the edge, but instead it's Megan Bishton.
Wow, what a great rally for these girls. And this was one of the longer rallies that we've seen so far. And the one thing Francis Howell really needed to win that one. The momentum now is back to Liberty. 2 points away from a first set win.
Coming now to Heiser. And again, those aces just continuing to mount over and over and over. That's 6 on the board tonight for the Blue Jays. And to try to close it out here in set number 1 in commanding fashion. Here's Heiser. Duck once more from Helms. Tipped up by Moore. McClintock trying to get it over. Instead, it's from the hands of Baker, and the first set goes to the Blue Jays, 25-14. And they did that on 16 kills.
Now, this is unofficial. This is what I'm just keeping over here.
Of course.
So everyone knows unofficial.
This is the coach's book, we should say.
Yes. Yes, these are just for he and I to have a fun time here. And the kills for Francis Howell were only 7. So there is a big difference in the scores. Missed serves. Hey, Liberty had 3 missed serves. Francis Howell only had 2. But the aces off of Liberty is what cost them that game, I think. Service receive as well.
Again, 6 aces on the board for the Blue Jays, but the score that matters right now, 1-0 as we head to the second. You're watching the 2024 Class 5 Girls Volleyball Championships on Mission TV.
You kidding me? And the Norwood Pirates have their first ever state title.
Jackson, oh, it goes! For the first time in 9 years, the trophy goes back to Chesterfield.
One in this one. Make it to Annika Holtorf.
Set number 2 getting ready to go here in the third place game, and a commanding performance from the Liberty Blue Jays. And again, you have to think, though, too, the 6 aces starting it off was really the big key for the Blue Jays, but also, too, it just seems as if they feel a little more loose and relaxed and know how to attack number 10 and Danielle Moore.
Yes, so she is the one that Frances Howell is going to go to. We know that's where she's going to go. She can hit right side, she can hit strong side, and she blocks extremely well. But in the Liberty defense, you got to watch out for Mullen, number 27. And now that I'm looking at here, we got so many more that we've got to watch out for that actually probably didn't hit as much last night as they are tonight.
Absolutely.
And this is what makes a great team. I'm now going to be able to mix it up all over the floor.
Absolutely. I mean, unofficially, we don't have player by player at the moment, but it seems as if really it's not necessarily Mullen's show tonight, but Cameron Lee really showing off here tonight.
Yes. Serve, receive right now. Let's see if it can improve and cut the aces off of Liberty for Frances Howell.
Here's Bren Wright, 5'9" senior, going to bring it left to right here on your screen.
Perfect pass.
Dug up against once more for Dunn. Sits down to Moore, down in the middle. Near the back of Rowdy the Red Hawk here at the Show Me Center. So exactly textbook attack for number 10. So the Vikings strike first here in set number 2. Anderson now going to have to set it. Finding Spengler, and down in front in the meantime to another number 4 in Avery Helms.
That's right. The same spot, just 1 second ago, it was the exact same spot that Frances Howell hit on Liberty, and now Liberty just said, hey, we'll pay you back a little bit.
Going to ask you, and we'll wait until after we get through this, but Spengler not to serve it, but you talk about really important spots to find on the court. Would you say that middle is giving both teams fits here tonight?
Yes, it is. And the reason is we're expecting this power hit, and our girls possibly maybe expecting that, holding back, and then it's a roll-off, and it's just a split-second difference for them to get to that spot.
Spengler again. Blue Jays up 2-1. Brought back the other way. Here's Anderson. Brought down in front again. Mullen just continuing to show why she's going to be maybe one of the key players to look at, key freshman, we should say, in the Big Ten next year.
Yes. She should be All-State again this year.
Of course, we will know that later on this week.
Mm-hmm.
Still plenty of volleyball to be played here this weekend. We're only going to be halfway through once we're done here tonight. Mullen again trying to go back-to-back, doesn't get it to go. Moore now trying to go for the chance, gets it down in the inside. Great use from our vantage point, the upper left corner, upper right from her vantage point, and that's gets the Vikings ever so close.
So I like to call that the back 10% of the court, and no one is right there on the line for that back 10%. And if you can hit that back, you're going to get an ace, a kill every time. It's not going to matter.
Barrington bringing it up the other way. Brought down again from Mullen. Again, finding just those little gaps, not necessarily in the corner, but seeing where you can find that height advantage. It's going a long way.
She is out. She outsizes the block on the other side so much that she's just able to go right through them.
Again, brought down from Moore.
Out.
And that's still out. Again, they were not trying to go for that anytime soon, and it looked like it was just maybe 3-4 inches off. So, again, textbook out at the end of the day. As Ella Anderson, again, the dig leader on this team, 4:08 coming in to postseason play at over 30 last night. They're going to say that was on the inside and a touch. The touch as well. So,
okay, well, Frances Howell says, hey, I'll take it.
Again, one of the things that we do have the advantage on the floor, though, is that we're able to see those up-close touches rather than normally, I know, with you and Jim, which, spoiler, Jim and Gentry have probably called more games than anybody that I've watched this season in Missouri.
Yes.
The vantage points are completely different, whether you're on the floor or up all the way in the back or even up on one of the ends, we should say.
This is so unusual for me. I'm so excited to be right here. I'm usually up high, and I'm looking down. I can see holes better there, but I don't get this net that I love.
We need a telestrator down here. That'd be awesome.
Wow.
That is way out and over. Again, Spengler looking for the chance, but just a little bit too much power there. And now the Vikings, it seems as if they're starting to take advantages and catching Liberty, maybe pulling off the gas just a little bit.
So she needs to keep her serve here. They need to close this gap just a little bit closer.
And if there's anybody who can do it, it's certainly number 10 and Moore. Anderson again. The tip up front now from Bishton. Chance again from Moore. Too much. So again, the side out, not too kind for number 10 and Moore. And again, something we've noticed from her is that if she has maybe a little bit too much up front or somebody swarming back and forth, that will give her some issues from time to time. Here's Heiser now. Brings it down. They're going to go for the light push from Helms. Brought up again from Spengler. And the reset upcoming, or maybe not. Again, it looked like a little bit of miscommunication for what we saw.
Not a good pass off the very beginning. And then they were running out of system, and then it just went downhill from there.
We're trying to go for Mia Wilson, which, again, got a little bit to the left. Bad pass. Can't have that at the end of the day. 8-4 the advantage of the Blue Jays. Picked up from Heiser. Now again to point set. Not going to matter. And now we're starting to see Liberty try to go on a little bit of a run. A 3-0 run. Actually a 4-0 run, we should say.
Maybe a timeout here soon.
Again, here comes Heiser. Brought back the other way. Moore again. Dug deep again from Mullen. Chance up front. Got it. We're trying to go for it on the touch, but Spengler able to finish it there. And it's a 6-point lead. And, of course, you do see that timeout from the coach of the Vikings in Keith Price. 10-4 the advantage. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Class 5 Girls Volleyball Championships on Misha TV. Welcome back. 10-4 the advantage of the Liberty Blue Jays over Francis Howell. Joe Northern, Gentry Vansel, James O'Sullivan, Adam Baker up top. Your power forward crew.
I've never been called power forward, Joe. Thank you.
I like to have fun down here.
I love this.
Yeah, that's the important thing. And certainly a team that's having fun right now is certainly Liberty, just finding a way to pick apart a Francis Howell team that's been to this stage more recently than Liberty, of course, this only being their third trip.
Yes.
And an opportunity to tie their best finish to.
Right. So a great timeout for Keith, Coach Keith Pierce, and he used it, and Francis Howell messed up. And not only did they receive a point for the miss or the serve that went out, they also got a point off that ace just now.
Absolutely.
So it's a 2-point conversion off of that timeout. That's big.
That's your prime stats right there, folks. Brought over back the other way. Maybe they might go for 3 here. Here's Anderson finding Spengler. Up down the other way to Wilson. Back in front. Almost the kill from Baker. They're going to have to go to Moore, and they do. Setting back up for Bishton. Right down the middle of 2. And exactly what the Blue Jays needed.
That is her first big kill tonight, and they should use her more often. Impressive.
Again, Bishton is kind of like that secret weapon. Not somebody that you're going to see get every attack on the evening, but when you can find those opportunities, definitely something special to watch. Opportunity again for Spengler. That doesn't go. More to set it. Quickly crossed over in the meantime from Parrington. Going to go with a light tip block, and exactly the light tip. Sometimes it works, that time it doesn't. And great double coverage coming in from the Vikings.
They just didn't give up on it. They did not give up on it. Liberty's going to have to put the ball away right now. They just need to put the ball away.
11-7 our score. Vikings on a 3-1 run as it stands. Make that a 4-1 run. Thanks to the block at the net coming in from Mia Wilson. And now just like that, they are down by 3.
Yeah. Game can change instantly in volleyball.
We continue to see that over and over and over again, and they just do a great job of doing that. Another opportunity. Spengler down on the inside, still staying on it. Exactly what you'd say. Coming up over to Martin. The rally continues, and the pivot pull from Addie Baker cuts it back up to 4.
Addie Baker, everyone thought she was going to set it, and then at the last minute she goes, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to tip it.
I will say we've seen a lot of those I kind of like to call them pivot pulls a little bit, where you think you're going to see a set, but instead it's coming right down in your face. I know you and Jim saw that a lot during the last game from Jefferson City.
Yes.
Point on the board again for Liberty. And now they're starting to try to find that groove and again pick off a little bit of that momentum that we've seen from the Vikings since the timeout. But only a 5-point advantage here in set number 2. Wright bringing it down. Locked at the net once more from Parrington. Looking for Moore, and that's exactly who they needed. Moore getting it up front to Anderson, and still a 4-point affair.
Francis Howell right now has their strongest front row to me, and they're going to be using Moore all 3 rotations, but they have a very good, strong front row. This is where they need to stay to try to get some more points.
Scooped up once more from Heiser. Setting down to Mullen. And just got Avery Helms out of sorts and back up by 5. Going to be interested to see how they're going to go with the attack up front, as we do see again number 9, Caitlin Spengler going to serve. Liberty going with the 3-2 front, 3-2. Meanwhile, a 1-1-4 for Francis Howell right now. Sets up now for Dumb. Brought back out to Moore. Picked up the other way to Mullen. Light tip. Moore on the dig. Now the chance for Parrington. That's close, but saved again once more from Wright.
Oh.
But another great chance again by the Vikings. And again, you just see him stay on it over and over and over again. And one of those players, Emma Parrington, just a sophomore, by the way, so you have to think the potential and how she's quickly getting around is something that the teams are going to have trouble with moving forward.
I love all these young players that are here.
Quick attack and kill once more. This time coming from number 24 in Gigi McClintock.
And she's just a junior, so Liberty has several things good coming back for them. Going to lose this big right side, but just lots of good things still coming.
I mean, again, you have Spengler and as that goes out of play, I mean, you have Spengler and McClintock. You got to think they're going to be leading the charge next year, but also, too, Ella Anderson. She's already led the charge a little bit.
That's right.
Continuing to dig and be that spark plug and see if she can continue her run going into next season. Moore on the tip and brought out and away from Bishton. How did she do that? Moore on the run. Sets out to Anderson. Finds to Mullen. Now they're going to reset it once again. Back to Moore. Got it.
It was head. If we could watch a replay on that, I don't know if he can do that or not. She used her head. She just said, I'll use my head.
Yes, absolutely. The rare head ball, and technically not illegal. You could.
It's not. It's good now. Now, when I was playing, that was just unheard of.
Here's the chance now for Helms. Helms sets it up again once more. Back to Mullen, blocked at the net. This time from Martin. And it's 16-12. So again, Francis Howell still staying in there, doing a great job of at least trying to get over the head and get some strong attacks, but will it continue? They try to go for the short there in the meantime. They're going to go for the tip, And now back to Martin. Tip again once more. Chance now again for Bishton. Saved by Helms. Back to Moore. Down in and once again. Almost went for the double there. And you got to think that's the double again. We saw kind of her palm go up back and forth. You're not going to win that battle anytime.
No. And she had a double hit with that on that set going over. So
Frances Howell starting to ride the momentum. They're down by 3. Back in a moment on Mission TV. Welcome back. If you're enjoying the action of tonight's game or any of the games in this 2024 Volleyball Championships, you can purchase your own copy now. After the game, click the download button for the broadcast on Mission.tv, and you can own this or any game that you wish of Mission TV content forever. And right now, Frances Howell is riding a little bit of momentum here late in the second set. Again, with Liberty being by up just as many as 8 points, lead trimmed down to 3. Mullen now scoops it. And still able to get it over in time, and you got to see Mullen. It looks like, she's been the star player for the Blue Jays this entire season. Sometimes whenever you feel like there's a lot of pressure, it can be too much.
it can be. And because she played so hard last night, her legs could still be, give out, whatever you want to call it.
And the whistle on the other way, another double hit. So back-to-back double hits that we've seen here in this second set from both teams too, mind you, but it's still the Blue Jays riding the advantage 18-13.
The one thing we don't see at this level, at level 5, is we don't see many net calls, girls in the net.
You really don't, because you also have to think too, the big thing is that you see more of kind of the long game. You see more of like the quick attacks. You also see a few more tips than you would realize too at the Class 5 level. It's more of like a precisioned art that we see at the stage, which, again, not to discredit any of the other 4 classes, every class is like a unique factor, and I know we're going to see a lot of that coming up tomorrow too.
Yes, and I'm excited for Class 3.
Absolutely. That's going to be a heck of a doubleheader tomorrow. You and Greg Allen are going to have the call for that one, and that is going to be a very interesting Potosi LR game for the final on that one at noon.
So the race to 20 right now is for Liberty.
We'll explain the race to 20 coming up at the end of this set because it's going to take some time to explain. But now the chance coming up once more and again for number 26 and Addie Baker. So again, now we're starting to see Liberty take advantage of, again, that close game up front. So 21-13 the advantage, and we'll keep it right here. You talk about the race to 20. For those at home, what would you consider to be the race to 20?
So the race to 20 it's important, and it seems like for a lot of teams that can reach 21st, they will actually win that game. Now, it's not every time, but if we were to do a poll of it or a summary of it, what you want to call it, you would actually see more teams that can get to 21st will win. It's a mental thing for these girls. They know they only have 5 more points, and the other team sees that as well. My gosh, we only have 5 more points, and then the game's over. So it's more of a mental part of the game. Unlike basketball or any other game that has a time clock, the time runs out, we know the game's over. Here, it could be however long it can take to get to 25 or the person to win by 2 points.
Absolutely. Unless you somehow come back as what we've seen both of these teams do last night.
Yes, it is. It's crazy.
It's not a hard and fast rule, we should say.
That's right.
Here's Mullen again taking advantage of those aces. Not as many in the second set, but overall tonight, just the one that we've had here in set number 2. 7 overall on the evening. So Mullen just trying to continue to push things forward with 3 left to go, 22-13. Crossover again. Here's Moore. Moore sets out to Helms. Opportunity now for the Blue Jays. Said they're going to go for the push. Interesting move. Now back to Moore. Blocked again from Bishton. Quick opportunity again. Goes up. Still picked up. Who had it? Was it
Moore?
Was it Moore or my goodness? Moore down in the middle. Exactly what she needed to do. But again, it looked like Mullen and Anderson. They had both the chance, really. It looked like maybe one of them got a palm on it.
I think Mullins got it on her long arms reach just a little bit.
And nonetheless, a rally, but exactly a crucial point the Vikings need. With 3 left to give. Mullen, that's going to trail over. Picked up by Anderson. Going to have to get this over. And they do for Lee.
And he called 4.
That's a quad. Yep, you don't want that. But if you're the Vikings, you will take that any day. So now the Vikings starting to ride a little bit of momentum here in the second. Scooped over and an ace.
So 2 aces for Frances Howell right now in this set. Don't count them out. They're just down 7, but they have Moore back there serving.
Moore, her 3rd ace of this state tournament.
I'm sorry, I spoke too soon.
Hey, you tried. It's all good. It's the announcer's jinx. It's okay. It's okay. 23-16 the advantage. Still anybody's game. But now we see again number 25 in Riley Heiser.
She was a key server the last time in the game and served many points for them. And I spoke again. I've got to quit it. I'm so sorry, Riley. I'm sorry, parents.
Still a 6-point affair, 23-17. Blue Jays just need the 2. The Vikings need 8. Now an opportunity on the other side for the Vikings, and Nabuti gets it out the other way. And now we're starting to kind of see late in the game the service yips a little bit.
Yes. Also thing here is both teams have played on this court yesterday. They practiced on it. They've been around. The depth perception is a little different here from the normal gyms that they possibly play in.
Bishton to cross it over again once more. Sets down to Moore. Dug up again. Brought down, and that's your set point right there. And again, Addie Baker clenching it for the Blue Jays as they take this one by 8, 25-17. So at the end of 2, Blue Jays up 2 games to none as they take care of set number 1, 25-14, 25-17 as we head in the 3rd. Back in a moment. Blue Jays up 2-0 as we head into the third. A reminder, a full slate of action right here tomorrow on Mission TV, beginning with third-place placement games as Odessa takes on Eldon for third at 10 a.m. And then Potosi and Logan Rogersville, two teams, one of which looking for their first, one of which looking for a surprising championship. That'll be our noon game. Then coming up, we go back to semifinal action in Class 2 and Class 1. And our Class 1 games will be in the afternoon. Two historic powerhouses, one of the now, one of the past, Advance and Santa Fe. That'll be a great game at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And then Winona and Jasper at 4. And then we close the night in Class 2 semifinals with St. Vincent taking on Bishop LeBlond. And one of the more surprising teams and another one of the remarkable stories in Herman getting back to the Final Four, yet you would say a team that's made it 30 times, a very surprising Herman team that made it this year, as they'll take on currently undefeated Fairgrove. That'll be our late game tomorrow night at 8. But in this one right now, it is still all about the Blue Jays and them just continuing to find ways to attack Francis Howell.
Making it hard for Francis Howell. Francis Howell's schedule is still tough. I mean, they don't play that many just easy teams, so they're used to this. This is something that they're not accustomed to.
Right, absolutely. Wright gets that over, no pun intended. Opportunity now for more. Dug down again. Here comes Spengler. Spengler brought up once more from Helms. But it does not matter, as that's going to be a point on the board for the Blue Jays.
Was someone in the net? What did we miss? We have a hard time seeing exactly.
So 2-0 the advantage. The Blue Jays getting the first two on the board. They did the exact same thing to get this thing started early on in the first. Moore bringing it down, dug up again by Heiser. Heiser sets back to Spengler, but over the head in the meantime of Avery Helms.
Francis Howell did their job. They got a touch on that ball, on that hit, and then it just didn't happen right.
So 3-0 the advantage of Liberty again, shaking off from what it seems like any rust that we've seen last night in the five-setter with Lafayette. And really just this is a Liberty team that we knew we were going to expect to see all season long. And obviously, despite losing some major key players after tonight, you still have to think the future is going to be bright for coming up in her 20th year in April Fleming running the show at Liberty.
Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if we'd see these back here. And we're not going to see it back here. We're going to see it back in St. Joe.
That we will. Again, St. Joe will be our home for the next 3 years at Missouri Western State University. Kind of a little bit of a throwback because keep in mind, before the Show Me Center had it here, a lot of the state championships were held out west, 3 years at Municipal Auditorium, but before that, another 20 held over at UCM in Warrensburg.
Warrensburg, yes, just south of Kansas City.
Spengler to get it going again. Opportunity down in front again from Danielle Moore, and cuts it down to 3. But no, after this tournament finishes up on Saturday, this arena will be the second longest host of the volleyball tournaments. And again, that's something have to tip the hats to staff here at Southeast Missouri State University. Of course, City Sports Commission, the city of Cape Girardeau for continuing to make things happen as well.
Yes. And Cape Girardeau, for those of you who do not know, it's on the river. They have a great community support here. There's a lot of things to do and see with the Mississippi River here right on the Mississippi.
That's going to be an ace on the board in the meantime for Kylie Poinsett. And just like that, you're starting to see a little bit of a run come in from Francis Howell, getting the last 3 in a row.
Some errors that are typically not made by Liberty are now being made.
Helms now to bring it over. Dug up once more. Here's Anderson. Anderson just too high and outside. It was Cameron Lee looking for that attack again, kind of in that 5%, I wouldn't say the 10%, but kind of in a 15% area, yes, but could not get it to go. And we are even at 5. Going to be a short serve over Finding Lee again. Blocked, not blocked at the net. Just going to be in the inside in the meantime. So 6-5. The Vikings still looking for their first lead of the match so far. Crossing over again to Anderson. Bobbled out of play. Now still kept in track by Howell. Chance goes up. Down again from Mullen. Still in play for the Vikings. It's Moore. Short attack. Finds Anderson. Down again to Mullen. No hands on it. Does not matter. And it'll be the Blue Jays on the board.
That was the battle of the hitters right there. The battle of their power hitters.
Well, you do love when you get a good power hitting battle. And now we're at the point where it's just like ping pong at the end of the day.
Yes.
But still, again, you get two attackers just going back to back to back.
Smart play.
Great movement again from the Vikings. And the lead cut down again to 1. 7-6 the advantage. I'm really like from what I'm seeing from Howell here starting out in this third set, they're trying to find a way to pick apart and maybe, dare I say, really take advantage of a lot of the open real estate for Liberty at the moment. And Liberty picking up a little bit of extra power that's coming back to bite them in the meantime.
That's right. They were wanting to touch on that, and I'm not too for sure. That's not my call.
I think they might have maybe seen the fingertip, but
yes.
Did not go. Here's the chance now again for Mullen. Blocked again, this time from Nabuti. Mullen with another chance.
And that's why they give her the ball. I want to make it clear, this team doesn't run just because Mullins is hitting. Both of these teams have 6 girls. They have 12 girls on this team that have practiced and practiced and practiced and made these girls better. Everyone on that bench has made these girls out here right now better. And if it wasn't for those girls, they wouldn't be as good as they are.
They call it a team at the end of the day.
That's right.
Opportunity again now for Helms. Finding for Moore. Dug again by Anderson. Picked up by Mullen. Short attack on that one. Here's Helms again. Down by Moore. Blocked again at the net by Bishton. So 9-7 the advantage for Liberty. And only 16 more to go to tie their best finish that they've ever had, as we're starting to see some of the crowd beginning to file in for our nightcap coming up, and a big nightcap too between Lafayette and Ozark. But again, this is what we've seen from Megan Bishton, really kind of that secret attacker up front and really getting teams when you least expect it.
It's a fast swing. It's such a fast swing that she has. And there it is. Just boom.
Just continuing to go nonstop. Served over again by Mullen. Brought out the other way, but too high. Oh, wait, nope. They found the touch on it. It looked like it kind of grazed off maybe an elbow, I think, from maybe what I saw. I'm not completely sure, but let's take a look again. Yep, off the fingertip up top.
Fingertip. I'm telling you, he has the best view up there.
Our cameras certainly don't hurt either, that's for sure.
That's right.
Down again by Lee. Here comes Moore. Sets back to Helms. Another tip up front. Doesn't matter, however. Liberty now up by 3, 11-8.
It's a passing error, too high and too close to the pin out there, to the out of the antenna. Just nothing that they can do with that.
It's just, again, bad. You can't say bad placement because it was strategic one way or the other.
Yes. So it's out of system ball. She did the best she could with it.
Here's Heiser. Going with the right-hand approach. Now finding Helms. Attack block at the net. Looking for that still again.
Liberty is in the net.
Liberty getting a little too close. So now you're starting to see the Blue Jays make a few mistakes, and again, the Vikings have done a great job of at least trying to get close to it. Keep in mind, 14 more points, they're done, and so is the career of quite a few seniors on this team, if not all seniors, we should say. Bishton again, dug down once more, but out of play. Hadley Martin was looking for the chance, but just got a little bit to the right on that one.
Bishton has a really good, like I said, she's a really good, quick, clean snap.
It's just done a great job of just trying to continue to control the pressure for the Blue Jays this evening. Tip up again once more. Blocked at the net again from Hadley Martin. She's starting to kind of come into her own here in this third set.
Yes.
Really doing a great job up front.
So Francis Howell said, we're not done. We're not done. Let's go 5.
One of the things that, again, talking with Francis Howell's coach and Keith Price, he was saying, like, listen, we know that this is our last game no matter what. So why can't we go out and try to make things happen and maybe upset one of the better teams?
That's right.
Because we're just as good too. And not to say his team isn't good, obviously, but
the last 2 games before they got here were 5 sets, and they won both of those. So they are no stranger to being down 2 sets.
I feel like they kind of relish the opportunity a little bit to try to go 5 if you can. And in fact, out of at least the 4 teams that we've seen here in Class 5, they've spent more time going 5 than anybody. Here's Bren Wright now. Gets it over. Now finds point set. Brought down, still in play, but great placement again from number 10, Danielle Moore, to try to get Anderson a little out of sorts.
That's right.
Take a look at it again once more. Again, you see getting the tip down, thinking that Anderson was trying to dive down for it, but just couldn't get the right movement on the palm. That's going to go out of play once more.
That is 4 missed serves for Francis Howell. This is not going to help if it continues, and this has been almost 2 back-to-back. I would like to say a big thank you right now to the West Plains High School volleyball team. They are here being our ball girls. Those of you who would like to be on the floor helping with the balls, that one was in.
That it was, Josie Naputi. And not to mention, too, a bunch of teams around the region, or some are out of the region, some in the region. And Oak Couch, Oak Ridge, Carruthersville also being involved.
Yes. So it's a great opportunity. Don't forget, you get to skip school as well.
You get to skip school. That's the big thing. You can avoid algebra for 2 days. It's fine.
It's fine.
Down again for Mullen. Now brought back the other way for Moore. Picked up as Wright keeps it inside. Bopped over again by Anderson. Doesn't matter in the meantime, as that's the double hit for Francis Howell. And now it's 15-13.
So we're seeing a lot of double calls here.
Anders, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, and it's been in all the 3 games that I've done so far today. And this is something that Misha will look at eventually.
Opportunity, a little bit of a collision brought up. Still in play by Moore. Now a chance to bring it down, and she does.
Oh, my.
Danielle Moore, how do you do?
My goodness.
Take a look at it again. Does it one-handed.
She just says, get it out of here. That's just athleticism. Quick reaction time, too.
That might be the attack of the game so far. Here's Mullen. Still kept it out, but out of play.
That might deserve top 10 of ESPN. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen some crazy things on that, but I like that one. It's just how she finished it.
It's just, again, just like thinking like, oh, I got this, and then finishing it off. I love that.
Yes.
Still a hill to climb, though, for Francis Howell. Down by 2. Blocked at the net again by Bishton. Setting up again. Doesn't matter. Looks like that might have been a double. Nope. Hands out. Under the net on that one. Again, I am staring right down the middle, so
yes.
Seeing hands come out on one side or another,
And we cannot hear the whistle. Y'all, they have to realize this on TV. We cannot hear this whistle that is going on. So when we see excitement and cheering from either team, then we know something good happened if we did not see the call.
Absolutely. Well, we can also tell you, too, from our vantage point, we have both fan sections behind us. Of course, people can sit really anywhere they want here at the Shelby Center, but from where we're sitting right now, you have a much better advantage, even as if you're at home right now, where you can't see your seats. That's really where you need to be at the end of the day.
Yes.
And you do get the authentic reactions from the benches. You also feel like you get maybe a better view of the game as it stands.
Yes. So Liberty needs to come out here, and I call this finish a team off. Francis Howell, on the other hand, is going to still keep fighting every little chance they get, and they're going to use any advantage that they can to get a point.
And who else but Abigail Mullen try to start the serving and see how this can close out for the Blue Jays. 17-14 the advantage here in the third. Attack brought down, dug again by Anderson. Picked up by Mullen. That goes high. But off the fist. Chance again from Bishton. Dug up again once more by Poinsett. Here's Moore. Dug and saved again. Now to Lee. Over the head. Couldn't find it from number 11, Edna Beauty, as it just kind of grazed over the fingertips and not on the palm.
Yeah.
So 18-14 the advantage, and we'll see it again from number 27 in Mullen. Scooped up from Wilson. Set up again once more from Baker. And strong thinking, knowing that that was going to fly out to their right.
Yes.
And exactly what the Blue Jays needed. Don't forget, folks, as a reminder, at the end of the game, we will have the trophy presentations for you, for both teams winning third and fourth. And then our championship game coming up between Lafayette and Ozark. You'll be able to click that feed. That's going to be on the bottom left of your screen if you haven't watched this in full screen, of course. With one purchase of the game, you get all the games here this weekend.
Yes. Race to 20 has gone to Liberty right now. Serve receive for Francis Howell has been just a little bit of a struggle. They've had like 5 missed serve receive opportunities. Way to use her hands, though, and got the point.
Absolutely. Josie Deputy doing a great job trying to force it. And just like that, the Vikings cut it within 5. And really, they've done a great job of just trying to continue to cut down to Liberty, but it just seems like too fast, too strong, too tall. But still
All
not.
three.
Yep. Still not over yet, though. Graze is over for Deputy. Now a chance out for Lee. And that's going to be a double hit again once more off Cameron Lee. So the Vikings now trying to ride on a little bit of that momentum of the miscues. They've got 4 to catch up on. They have not checked out whatsoever. Beauty over and too high.
It's 3 missed serves for Francis Howell this set.
So the race now again to 25, just 4 to go, and a 5-point advantage. And of course, still primarily seniors out on the floor for Coach April Fleming's squad, and again, just the way that I feel like they're going to draw it up.
I think she'll keep it.
Heiser sets out to Wilson. Dug deep. Anderson, the one junior, we should say, out there. And the one that helped on the attack.
Yes. That was a true, what we call a true pancake. That is when you put your hand down, that ball flops up, and you can tell the libero is so pumped about that from Liberty.
Here's Heiser again. Blue Jays by 6 at the moment. Gets it over high and an ace. Off the tip, and the lead extends to 7. So again, on the floor right now, all seniors except for number 4. And Anderson. Heiser grazes it over again. Brought back up by Poinsett. That goes out of play. And now it is match point for Liberty. Heiser up again, struck down, and still not over yet. The seniors saying, hey, I'm not done here, and Hadley Martin.
They're not going away.
Again, seniors on the floor, too. Only 3 as it stands, and a large returning squad, too. We'll get that in just a second. Back up to Anderson. Sets out again for Baker. Bishton, got it!
Got it.
And that is how the season comes to a close for the Liberty Blue Jays. Arguably one of the most successful seasons they've ever had, finishing in 3rd here at the 2024 championships. So they finished the year officially at 29-8. Francis Howell finishing the year at 28-9. And now, quite simply, this is one of the sweetest and yet one of the hardest parts of any championship, as you should say.
Everyone needs to realize that in Class 5, there are 70 schools in the state of Missouri that are considered to be Class 5. These girls are the top 4. There are 66 other schools that would love to be here, love to even get this 4th place bronze medal around their neck and a trophy to take back to their school. And these are memories that these girls will always remember, to be able to say they were on a state tournament team. And this is very rare. If you multiply this by 12 or 14, there's 70 schools, and there are 14 girls in each school, and there's more. You're looking at a lot of girls and that would love to be, here at this same point, even though Francis Howell has lost the 2 sets. And this is what happens when you make 4th. You have lost 2 games. You've lost 2 games. Nothing to be ashamed of. They had to struggle and fight to get here, and they did not give up.
And arguably, we should say, probably one of the toughest schedules and toughest draws, we should say, too, to get to the stage. And again, you take a look at the way they got here, to get here, you should say. You get the 3-0 win against Wentzville, but you had to come back down 2-1 against Timberland. Forgot to mention that. They had to come back down 2-1 against Timberland. Had to do it again against St. Dominic, too, in the district final. And keep in mind, this is a 2-seed advancing to the Final Four. So you have to think, too.
And St. Dominic had won and had beat all of these teams this year. We have looked. They had beat Lafayette. They beat everyone. Mm-hmm. So for them to come off and pull off to beat Dominic is huge. Right now we're about to get presented with the medals.
Yes, and as you hear as PA announcer Dave Cooley announce the coaching staff for Francis Howell, and again led by Keith Price.
A very classy gentleman. One is well respected.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nothing to be ashamed of here as we now see the players keep going. Ellie Pfeiffer, Avery Helms, Mia Wilson coming up. And again, just taking a look down the line as you see a lot of seniors out here, but you see a bunch of juniors. You have to think, though, this team wants to come back for a 3rd year. Granted, going to be a different change of scenery, but it is going to be something that I think this team is going to see. In the meantime, you feel for the seniors, but here's the thing. You finished 4th place, but you finished the job against a team that quite simply could have ran the table over everybody in St. Dominic.
Yes.
So it's a hard 4th place at the end of the day.
Right now we have number 13, Rose Machado.
Emma Parrington, number 14. Marley Poinsett, number 15. Allie Tuitt wearing number 16. Kylie Poinsett wearing number 17. Hannah Langen coming up, sophomore, number 19. And then Morgan Dunn, the senior, number 20. So you have to think, too, this team is going to be back. They have a lot of key components, and I think, again,
I would love to see what their JV record was as well, and their freshman team.
Again, but in this 3rd place matchup, another team that had to go through quite a few juggernauts to get here, too. In Liberty, as we get the acknowledgement once more from Dave Cooley.
28-9.
And, of course, really Liberty has grown themselves to be a just a powerhouse program, but they, again, sometimes have had the roadblocks to get through, and sometimes they've worked, sometimes they haven't.
Look at our seniors.
You got to have the seniors right there, and a lot of seniors that are going to be playing at the next level next year.
I love the idea here where the coaches get to give the medals. This just means so much and so much more to these players and for her as well.
Oh, absolutely, and I feel like that's the biggest thing, is that this is a team effort, and of course, obviously, it's this is a 3-month race, officially a 3-month race, but you got to think with all the off-season practices and everything you're doing beyond that, AAU, whatever that may be.
It's club.
It's club. Yes, club. Wow, I know that. I blanked on that. That's my apologies.
No, and I know all these girls, and their seasons will start just pretty well immediately.
Absolutely.
So if you will, announce these girls as we go along.
Absolutely. You have number 4, Ella Anderson, Lexi Brazel, the lone freshman on this team, but you got to think as a freshman, a lot of experience. Caitlin Spengler, excuse me. She's going to be a big impact player next year for the Blue Jays. Megan Bishton, number 11, number 12, Elsie Combs, number 14, Bren Wright coming up on your screen. Caitlin Stingall, a sophomore. You expect a lot of great things for her to come down the road, too. Stiegel, we should say. Cameron Lee, a senior who had a dynamite performance here tonight. And we'll see her at the next level down the road as well. Gigi McClintock. Number 25, Riley Heiser. Number 26, Addie Baker. And who else but, again, the USC commit to close it off at number 27, Abigail Mullen. And there you have it. Third place squad of the Liberty Blue Jays finishing on the season at 29-8. Or I beg your pardon, 29-7 officially on the season, and quite simply a team that worked their tails off to get here. And you have to think with a bunch of these players coming back, they have an opportunity to continue to make some noise. But here's the thing, you still finish with the highest program and highest finish you've ever had.
You have to be proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share just a sweet moment here as I'm watching. I love to watch these girls get their medals. But your managers over here, they were just as excited to receive this medal as your other girls were, and they're happy for their team. And I love to see that, how everyone was just happy. Even though they may not have touched the ball on the court or passed the ball, I guarantee you they've shagged, they've taken things to the bus, they have done their jobs. And I love how it's a team effort.
Absolutely. I think even with you winning third or finishing fourth, the ways that these teams had to get here tonight, there's really only 2 words to say at the end of the day: mission accomplished.
Yes.
So that'll do it for our third place matchup. Coming up next, you'll want to click on the box to join us. Coming up, it is a Class 5 championship with major implications. Can Lafayette only become the second team to three-peat twice? Or will it be Ozark, who's been to the dance many a times but has had to go home with third or second? Will they take home a title for the first time in 15 years? We'll find that out. We'll join you just a little bit before 8 p.m. For Gentry Vansel, Joe Northern saying so long from now. We'll see you in a little bit for the Class 5 title.
Thank you for watching Misha.tv. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Missouri State High School Activities Association, powered by Huddle TV.